Okay, before I start this video, I want to clear some things up because I know everyone will be confused if I don't. 1, I am not going to do any more Minecraft videos. I'm animating now. 2, I don't actually look exactly like this, but it's the closest I can get to resembling my face. And 3, my favorite food is pizza. That last one doesn't really clear anything up, but whatever. Okay, all that said, enjoy the rest of the video. So when I was something like 8 years old, I really wanted a hamster. Like, really wanted one. I would come home from school and go, "Mom, can we get a hamster today?" And she said, "Can you afford it?" And I always said no, because I was 8 years old and spent all my money on candy and other useless junk. Anyway, so I started saving up to get a hamster and eventually got one cheap from one of my mom's friends. And me and my little brothers, I didn't have a sister back then, were super happy. So we started thinking of names for the hamster. One of the most popular names was Dumpling. I remember that. Both of my brothers wanted it to be Dumpling. But since I bought the hamster, I got to decide what it was named. Fortunately. I don't know how I would manage going around saying, "Dumpling, it's time for some food," or "Dumpling, I'm gonna clean your litter box now." I mean, who names their hamster after a food? Anyway, I named the hamster Snowcone because I think it had something to do with the color? I don't know. I also just realized that I'm a hypocrite because right after I was saying that you shouldn't name a hamster after a food, I named my hamster Snowcone. Huh. Well, we got a new cage for Snowcone and he started running around. He looked pretty mad that he was being imprisoned, so I bought him a pink hamster ball with the leftover money I had and let him roll around in it. I actually got bit twice by that hamster, but we'll get into that later. I guess hamsters really like bumping into walls repeatedly, because that's like all Snowcone did in his free time when he was in his ball. And I should know, because I monitored him every second he was in it. There was this one time where he almost rolled down the stairs, but luckily I grabbed his ball before that happened. So anyway, on the first day we had him, we took Snowcone out of his cage and I held him in my hand. Don't worry, it was over a bathtub, so if he fell off, he wouldn't be able to escape. We both looked each other in the eye. I thought that we were finally becoming friends. But then he bit me. I dropped him into the bathtub and he scrambled around. And I had a bleeding mark on my finger, so I went and got a Band-Aid. Then I told my mom that Snowcone bit me. So we put him back in his cage and everything was going pretty good until nighttime. So if you don't already know, hamsters are nocturnal, and if Snowcone was that energetic at day, then how nuts would he be at night? Very nuts is my answer, very nuts. That hamster kept me up almost all night, so a couple nights later I finally moved the cage downstairs and slept normally after that. So after about a month passed, I thought I might be able to take the hamster out of his cage without being bitten. Unfortunately, that time happened to be when Snowcone was in his ball and I was in the timeout chair. Yes, I had timeouts when I was 8, don't judge me. So Snowcone took a break from ramming into the wall and rolled over to me. And I was like, "Oh, that's cute, Snowcone's coming over to me." And so I picked up his ball and opened it, and he crawled out into my hand and he bit me again! So I started yelling and Snowcone just sat on my legs staring at me, and then my mom came over with a Band-Aid and we put Snowcone back in his cage, and I never, ever, ever trusted Snowcone to be out of his cage again unless in his ball. So that might sound like the end of the story, but it's not. As they say in like dramatic movies and stuff, this is not the end, it is merely the beginning. So here's what happened a couple months later. So by then I was used to having a pet in the house, and I admit I kind of got a little careless. And one time when I was feeding him, I accidentally left the cage top on the ground. So we don't know exactly how he got out of the cage, but after examining the cage, we think that he somehow got on top of his hamster wheel and then climbed out, which is like impossible to do with something that spins when you touch it. But it's either that or he can climb walls, and I'm pretty sure hamsters can't do that. So yeah, he escaped the cage. I'm a terrible owner. It's completely my fault. Yeah. But it's not important why he got out of the cage. It's what he did when he got out. So the next morning, I wake up and go outside the room to find my mom kneeling down right next to me with a look that made me know something was wrong. And she's like, "Polly, do you know what happened last night?" She didn't actually say Polly. She said my real name, but that's not important. And I was like, no. And she tells me that Snowcone escaped the cage and ran all over the house. And then I look around and see hamster poop everywhere. And I go around and there's poop in like every inch of the house, even in the closet. I mean, the door was shut, and there's almost no opening under that door. How does he even do that? There was so much poop. Like, I didn't even feed him close to that amount of solid matter. So my mom ended up telling me that I couldn't keep Snowcone, and I started crying and went back to bed. We ended up giving Snowcone away to a little girl. I don't know how he likes it there. He's probably dead by now. But I hope he's in hamster heaven eating lots of fingers and pooping where he likes. And that's it for that episode, guys. I hope you liked my story about the crazy hamster that I used to own. See you later. By the way, how do you spell hamster anyway? Is there a P after ham or not? I always get mixed up with that.